So here's how it works. You take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed, and you believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you listen to Thrive Loud, and Lou shows you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
I don't need to teach you to be more like me. I need to teach you to be more like you.
Longtime listener and a huge fan.
Lou, I am tremendous.
And the more I'm plugged from technology and people, the more I can serve people with technology.
What you're standing for with connection, I think it's the key to everything.
You're just an amazing breath of fresh air for sure. You're a diamond in the rough, my man.
Because for me, if I'm not living high energy, I'm surviving and I want to be thriving.
Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
I love it.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have a superstar activator, business alignment strategist, and professional speaker. Her mission is to activate influencers, leaders, and other superstars to grow their businesses and increase their impact in sustainable, energy-rich ways. You're going to love the energy she brings to this conversation, let alone this new energy that's just entered her apartment, which we are sure to talk about. Thrive Loud listeners, Michelle Villalobos. Michelle, how are you today?
I'm so well. Thank you, Lou.
So everyone needs to know that if you're in the world of coaching and helping to develop other people, and you want to grow your business and your practice, there is nobody that does it better than this one. Michelle, I want you to tell a little bit of your story to start things off here, because you have the superpower of helping to activate superstars. I want you to share how you were able to determine that that was your superpower.
Well, as with many stories of overcoming and triumph, I started with a massive failure and breakdown. I started my business back in 2007. And for the first 7.5 years, it was really difficult. I was doing consulting, speaking, training, coaching, basically whatever I could do that people would pay me money for. And I ended up, burning out really, really badly. My health broke down, my relationship broke down, and ultimately the business itself broke down. And in the depths of that, I met a mentor who helped me excavate my heart and find what it was that I was really on this planet to do. He made me, he held me to a higher standard of alignment, beyond achievement, which my whole life had been built around success, achievement, getting straight A's, degrees, good jobs, promotions, nice cars, money, status. And I had never really taken the time or put the energy into asking, like, why am I really here? Who am I? And what do I want to do with my life?
When you went through all of that and out came this unique superpower of helping to help others awaken their inner superstar, can you share a little bit about, I guess, how you came up with the methodology and the steps of it? Because one of the things I have had the good fortune of hearing your story before, and was so impressed with almost the process of getting to that point. Can you share that with the listeners?
Yeah. So actually, in those first 7.5 years, it wasn't like I wasn't doing anything. I was building up, a content library. I was learning about branding, and specifically about personal branding. That was something that early on, I started to focus in on. I had a background in psychology. I had a degree in business. I'm an MBA. And I started to pull it all together and focus on personal branding. And then when I had the breakthrough, the whole nine, and I changed my business model, and I went back and I looked at, all the many, many things I'd done. And of all of them, that was the thing that I thought I could take out and polish it up and re-energize it, start from kind of over, but with that one piece instead of all the other things I was doing. So I kind of pulled that out and started to run these retreats. And in these 3-day retreats, we would run people through this branding kind of process. And over the years, I refined it and developed it. And then a couple of years ago, I started adding a whole new element to it. So it was branding and business model, the two pieces together, which I think form the foundation of of a superstar business. Superstar has to have the brand because that's what attracts people. That's the message, that's the mission, that's the movement. And then the business model is how you monetize that. And the problem with most superstars, like with me, for example, is that we monetize our time and our effort, not our magic. And monetizing your magic is a whole different ballgame than monetizing your time or your effort. And that's really what I now help people do, is find what they really want to do. And then how do you monetize it in a way that doesn't sacrifice your health, your well-being, your lifestyle in the process?
I know you literally went through that physically and mentally and have spun this all around. When you look at this work that you're doing now, I want to know what gives you the most joy, the thing that makes you happiest. That's the thing that gets you most excited every day that you wake up.
So I love working with these people, the superstars, as someone who I'm a creative person, but to me, creation without contribution, it has no joy. So for me, I love to create in service of others, to help people uplift. So we just spent 3 days with a group of 30 something superstars, going from, in the beginning, lack of clarity, confusion, uncertainty, and over the course of 3 days, getting them to a place of excitement and instead of confusion. There's still uncertainty, but now we call it dancing in the mystery, right? They're excited and they're relating to that uncertainty with curiosity and excitement rather than with anxiety. And that's my favorite thing, is to see people transform so quickly and start to move in the direction of the thing that they most want to do, rather than the thing that they've been thinking they have to do or they should do.
Part of the reason I wanted to have Michelle on the program is to someone who came up with a plan and changed her business and direction. She did that, and she's been thriving in that particular area. And in COVID-19, in the year 2020, we're recording this at the end of 2020. You're listening to this at the beginning of 2021. Obviously, there were some challenges to pulling together some of your retreats. How did you adapt? How did you adapt this past year, and what that's done for your business?
Well, I mean, if I'm totally honest with myself and with you, I did it kicking and screaming. I didn't wanna, Yep. I was pretty content with the way things were, and they were good enough. And COVID came along, and we had a retreat scheduled for March, and we have certain kind of numbers that we like to hit, certain objectives, and we were getting up close to that March date, and I had to make a call. Either I was going to have to cancel it or go virtual. And I really didn't want to go virtual, but I really, really didn't want to cancel, because I knew there were people that needed it and that had been waiting for it, who'd paid for it. So I decided to move forward virtually, and spent 2 weeks kind of converting our event into a virtual format. And I was so surprised and pleased when it went well. And then we did it again in June, and then we did it again in September. And now in December, we actually could have gathered because we always do our events in Florida, but I chose to do it virtually. And actually next year, what I decided is, no matter what happens, we'll do at least 2 of them virtually from now on. So 2 virtual and hopefully 2 live.
It's a good lesson, I guess. And when you said that so well, kicking and screaming coming out of this, but you also had a great opportunity here, obviously recognize that you can adapt from it, and it may have even made your program a little better. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So Lou, we just finished the 3 days, and so the first time I just wanted to get it by, right? I just needed to get it done, deliver it. The second and third time, I was kind of still like, okay, well, this is just, because we can't do it live. But the 4th time, December, right now, this past weekend, I'd already made that decision that I wanted to do live next year. And so I said, all right, now I'm going to make this thing, I'm going to modify it and make it better in a way that you could only do it online. And so we were able to do some new things in there. We changed stuff up. I mean, one of the benefits of doing it virtually was that now I have recordings of myself doing this content. So one of the things I did was I went through and I picked out the best content, pulled it out, made it part of the prep work. So now people come into the retreat and all we have to do is work on it together. They're not learning and doing at the same time. They've got the theory in advance, and now we're just hands-on mapping it out together. Okay, what's your model? What's your price point? All that stuff. So we spend a lot more time engaging and interacting than we do learning or me speaking, teaching.
Michelle, superstars have superpowers, and yet they all have little weaknesses, and we'll call them little obstacles that get in their way.
Sure.
I want to know, Michelle, most commonly from what your experience, what is the kryptonite or the most common hurdle that your superstars have before working with you?
It's the exact thing that makes them amazing is the thing that holds them back, which is that creativity. They're always reinventing the wheel. They always want to create the next thing, the new thing, the bright, shiny object. And I'm no different. I am my client, actually. So having that focus, and that's one of the things that was the big breakthrough for me in my business, and is the breakthrough that we help people have, is like, listen, you can make your model ultra simple and still be super creative inside of the model. You can still create all these crazy things. You just create it in service of in this specific way in this area, rather than creating a whole bunch of different programs, which is where people get, they lose focus. And focus is one of the things that you need the most to succeed.
Yeah. I love asking this question. So curious to see where this goes. Michelle, we have days where we're kicking on all cylinders. And as you've mentioned and highlighted, you've had days where, you're not quite thriving and things aren't working the way you want to. What I would love to know is, on those days when you're not thriving, what practice or what individual do you seek out to get yourself back on the thriving track?
Well, meditation and yoga have become foundational components in my life because they ground me and center me. And so no matter what I'm doing, I meditate every morning, or if I don't, I find a spot during the day to meditate. So I've now been meditating regularly for a few years, and it's changed everything. And then the yoga piece is it's like a physical meditation is the way I see it. And that also does that.
So let's do this. Let's do the admin part of the show. Share with the listeners all the places people can learn about the Superstar Activator, where they can find you, websites, links, social media. We'll put it on the show notes, but it always gets more engagement when they hear it from you.
All right. Well, the best place, the home base is superstaractivator.com. And what I would encourage people to do is check out my podcast, which you can link to from there, or you can go to thesuperstarpodcast.com. And then the third place that I think people get the most value from is my YouTube channel. I have hundreds of videos up there, all with different business strategies, answering specific questions. How do I create a superstar brand? How do I create a thought leader business model? Everything that I know, I've pretty much in some way, shape, or form, I've put it into a YouTube video. So that's a great place to subscribe and learn.
Very good. Permission, Michelle, to go down Fun Street with me here at Thrive Loud? Please. We've been having fun the whole time, I know, but you specifically are going to be really interesting in this area. So first of all, share with the listeners your all-time favorite movie.
My all-time favorite movie is called Dangerous Beauty. And it's a movie about a courtesan in the 16th century in Italy. And she's a poet. She's a writer. And it's the story of her life. And it's based on a true story, which is extraordinary. She was a woman ahead of her time. She was outspoken, and it's also a very sexy movie. So it's fun to watch.
I was going to say it is one of the most unique. Usually we overlap with a lot of common movies. And I guess what connects most with this movie and you?
I would say she was willing to die to stand for her beliefs and for her expression. And I think that's really powerful and courageous. And that inspires me.
I like it. Going for that extreme type of thing. All right. Ready to hit the speed round of Fun Street? I know you want.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay. The way this is going to work is I want the first thing that comes to your mind, things that make you feel good, things that lift you up, things that make you thrive. Ready?
Yes.
A song that pumps you up or that you love to listen to.
Number 41 by Dave Matthews Band.
Very specific and very quick on that. Favorite food that is not a dessert.
Pizza.
Favorite dessert.
Tiramisu.
An activity you wish you did more of.
Biking.
An activity you wish you did less of.
Sitting.
If you could snap your fingers, Michelle, and go anywhere in the universe, where do you go?
Italy.
What part?
Oh, I've never been, so I don't even know.
Okay. So you don't even know. You just want to go. That's
I think like the countryside. What is that area called? That
in Tuscany.
Tuscany. Yeah.
Toscana. Yes. Absolutely great.
Mm-hmm.
The last question of Fun Street is I'm guessing that the word Neo has a whole new meaning to you, not as a Matrix type thing. Share with the listeners what you shared with me right at the beginning of this episode, because it could not have been any cuter.
Well, so The Matrix is my second favorite movie of all time. And so I got a little puppy, a little Shih Tzu poodle mix, and I named him Neo. And he's sitting right next to me. He's asleep. And he's my new buddy, the one.
Listeners need to know we've had a lot of dogs interrupt podcasts, show up on podcasts, jump into the videos that we've had for the program. This guy's the cutest. Absolutely so awesome. Well, enjoy him and enjoy training him. I know that's a lot of fun. But aside from that, Michelle, thank you so much for what you do and helping to activate all the superstars. It's really great work. We will put all the links in the show notes to get people to the stuff that you do. And thank you for coming on Thrive Loud today. I loved having you on.
Oh, thank you, Lou. I appreciate being here.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.